YouTube, this is Lawgiver here, or the bio here in game. This is a video I've been wanting to make for quite a while, and I know I don't upload much video content, and I apologize for that. I do have a kind of a busy schedule, so I just wanted to give a think about plundering, R, as the pirates would say, or the hard enough life for me, R. So, plundering, which it's not a new concept, but for people starting out, this will help immensely, and people who are been playing the game for a while, this will also help immensely. There's just a few steps you gotta get to, and that's the hard part. The hard part is not really making the alt, is finding a steady stream of an alliance that does blitz. So yes, so you want to have an alt that has a resource farming capability as per se, like a blitz 50. You definitely want blitz 50. So if you can find an alt alliance, find pity amongst your server to get an alt inside the alliance, or in my case, just freaking make one. So I do have my own Blitz 50 alliance, and all the alts you can see right here are all mine. And yes, I've been moving, so server invasion people, this is not going to be my correct location, and I also do shield my alt, so don't think about taking my silver. That's just a disclaimer. So this is kind of an open secret amongst us veterans and newcomers. I've also been telling people to do this. Whether they listen to me, that's another story. But if you want a lot of resources, quicker resources to get to the higher levels, this is a really good opportunity to do. Partake. And now if you can get it done, it's worthwhile. Now it is going to be a slow process starting out, and this is I would call it a very long-term process. This is not a short-term process. This ain't 3 months. This is going to be a long-term process of you developing an alt, which you don't really have to develop the alt that much. It just depends on what you want to use the alternate character for. I do recommend using a whole separate account. I know you have 4 other slots on your account. Use a separate account, because you might want to progress this alt eventually to maybe spawn oil fleets. And I'm kind of going off topic here, but I just kind of wanted to give you that little knowledge. So if you were to expand that alt, future is now, you can still plunder the alt, still plunder it, but if you want it to help do other things also, cool. And I want to really make a separate video on something like that, how to start your own Blitz 50 alliance or separate alts to partake in Blitz 50. That way you can get more resources, more bang for your buck. Free obviously also. So, oh yeah, Vladivostok. So, among other things, plundering, the pirates' life is for me. So, the biggest thing is, yes, I'm in a Charles carrier, Charles de Gaulle. Let's just avoid that little carrier embarrassment. So we're going to start equipment. Plunder equipment. Now, what type of plunder equipment, you may ask, I get? Well, it could be common. I would suggest, if you don't have what I have here, start with common equipment. I actually started plundering with my alts for a little bit. It actually worked out quite well. My alts were plundering my lower alts with common equipment. That actually works. The kernel bag, obviously. if kernel bag obviously plus 20, it gives you a whole lot of storage capacity. That's a big thing to get. That's a huge thing. In terms of equipment, I got this unique thing. This also helps with ship building. So obviously gives max ship storage 35%. This is more than any legendary equipment that would give. So let's just pick with a normal one. It's plus 20. You don't have to level these. I was bored at the time. So obviously you see destroyer storage, and then you see submarine storage. I would say the easiest thing for you to do is set up. I would suggest to do submarine storage. Starting out, everyone builds submarines first. I would highly just focus on submarine storage on your common or legendary. Eventually I didn't start with legendary at first. I didn't start with some epic and then work myself up to build some legendary equipment. I also build these up to get the jet blueprint boxes. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. You can see this destroyer, submarine storage. Since I have those are the big caveats of storage. Submarines have big storage. Frigates are okay, but I wanted to focus on kind of two. And kind of the lower destroyers actually have pretty good storage too, So I got this boots. Like I said, don't judge me on 20. So you get the gist of the equipment. Now, obviously, so let's do that. I would just auto reforge it if you wanted to. So with that the equipment in mind, Charles de Gaulle. Why do I pick the Charles de Gaulle, you may ask? That is an amazing question, YouTube. Going to module upgrades. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, yes, 100%. Don't judge me again. So you get storage capacity modules. So obviously, if the blue, you have to be on the active carrier to get the 100%. So that's why I'm in Charles de Gaulle for plundering. R. Remember that? They used to use pirates used to have old wooden ships. So Charles de Gaulle is my wooden ship. Okay, don't judge me. So I got all 3 storage capacity, and I already have my storage equipment loaded, locked and loaded. I also, and then obviously whenever you're deploying your carrier, you want to filter storage capacity ships higher. And then another thing is how many fleets you want to use to plunder. I get lazy. I just do 4. So my top 4 fleets plunder. Now if you do your top 1 or 2, obviously they're going to pull more silver than the others. It just depends on how fast, how slow, how much time you have to plunder. So, if four fleets, depending on the base, could be like 3-4 minutes, something like that. So I use something a little bit easier to do that with. Auto. So I do that. I use that, so I don't have to spend time doing that. Read 3 save. So what should I plunder the bases? So obviously 35 is going to be, actually, track up. Battle points. The more admiral level you have, the more battle points you get. Don't judge me, it's maxed. I get lazy on plundering. Don't judge me. So obviously more admiral level is going to be beneficial in that aspect. And then another thing is HQ level differences. So being 35, it's only 10. And you have a 33 base, it's going to be 10. A 32 base, if you're 35, is going to be also 10. Now when you get into the 31s, I actually don't have a 32 base right now. And then it says 20, so obviously 20, and then 30 is going to be 25. So the minimum, for me, the minimum base I will plunder is at 30. That's the minimum base, just because The more plunder points, the less silver per day I'm gonna get. So that's my last resort. 31 is actually not looking too bad. Actually, 20 is not that bad. Obviously, you're gonna want that 10, but that silver is gonna go quickly on that alt. So the more alts, the better. So obviously, you know, if you're want to scout, now other people might let you use their alts, fine and dandy. You can see silver. This one's not very many silver. He has more silver than that. It's just I'm at the max capacity. So the only thing is I'm gonna show you something. Alright, I'm at this base again. So obviously you see this base actually has more than 1.7 mil silver. That's gonna be another thing to discover. If you go to depot, so this is gonna be another thing. So also HQ 30, you can get that to 3 mil silver. But then if you want to level your alt to, I think it's 31 or 32, then you're going to have to upgrade this depot from like 28 to 29 to 30. So 30 is going to give you that max lower of 23 mil silver. But I mean, it's not, in the end, it's not going to make a huge difference. You're just going to have another pool, another silver pool. Or I mainly plunder silver. So, or iron. You could do iron. But if you plunder only silver, you'll let your alts progress with your iron. Because iron's going to take a while to build up. And then that's how I build up my alt a lot. Is not to plunder the iron, just to plunder the silver. And then a few of my alts are going to be level into 32 this time around. So you can see this guy, he has no equipment at all. Obviously, this guy is just a plunder, and he's got a Charles Gall. Some of my alts don't even have a carrier even made yet. So this guy just does the basic amount minimum. Obviously, he's still building 31. He needs 31 embassy. And then if I ever want to plunder to save my alts from being plundered, usually your own server, you're safe. Sometimes, very rare, very rarely you're gonna have a rogue person. You never know. But if you wanted to keep that silver locked down until you're ready to use it, you could just keep it low, and whenever you're ready to use it, just use this, and then he's gonna have a 10. Now he's gonna be able to be plundered for 10 million. I also would like to add that this portrait skin is the only thing that had storage capacity. So it's only 7% across the field, and I got it from a battle box thing, so I didn't even have to pay for it. So that's the only skin for storage capacity. These other skins are just for speed, if I want more travel speed. So obviously I'm going to be doing scout. And then obviously 9.7 I can plunder. You can filter out storage. It's going to pop. The first hit is always going to be low because it pops the base. The resources are not going to be accurate. And then now the second hit it's going to be accurate, where it's going to plunder the silver. Obviously, the more storage capacity you get, the more silver you're going to get, or other resources, obviously. So right now, my top fleet does 133,000 per hit. So you can do the math. So if you want to do 4,398 divided by 10 times the silver amount, that's how much silver I could potentially get per day. And then you can figure that out for yourself. For your other times, you have to. And then I'm just going to run through these. So my lowest for silver is 103. I know my top iron plunder is like 2.9 million iron per hit. So obviously some people in my alliance have more plunder storage than me. But the more you work up, the more it increases. I started with like 50 to 60,000 per silver, and then I worked myself up, and then I was able to get VIP level quickly. You can also get gold quickly this way. Whatever resources you need, more than likely you're going to need iron or silver. So, like I said, this could be just a video. Any comments, questions, concerns, let me know at the bottom. Thank you for watching my video.